Our next panel is Cross-Border Investments, moderated by Leah Cremasty, brand strategist and business podcast host.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy and honored to be here with you at the Lebanese Diaspora Conference Energy today, a platform that brings together Lebanese talents, decision makers, and people who are able to make a difference today in Lebanon and across borders. Before we begin with our esteemed panelists, we will be watching a small video intervention for Alain Bejani, former CEO of Majid Al Futtaim, business strategist and investor who is not able to make it in person today. Let's watch together this video. Alain Bejani, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
I think the Lebanese diaspora is extremely interested and committed to Lebanon. And we've seen that for so many years in every aspect. Through thick and thin, the Lebanese diaspora has always been there in support of Lebanon, of course, of their own families, friends, but also the country. I think what we need is few things that are extremely important, and also basic. One, we need the rule of law. That's something that we don't really have. Two, we need functioning institutions. Three, we need a banking system that works. So in my opinion, once we turn Lebanon into an ecosystem that works even on the basics, we are going to see a big leapfrog in terms of inflows, investment inflows into the country. I think trust is an outcome. You cannot decide that you are now going to become trustworthy. You have to act in a trustworthy manner, whether you're an individual or whether you are a government. In my book that's coming, it's about leadership. I write a lot about trust, because trust is the foundation of anything that actually works. So what I just said, rule of law, functioning institutions, an ecosystem where you have actually a banking sector that works, an economy that functions like any other normal country, a free flow of people, services coming in. These things create trust. When you think about it from a diaspora standpoint, Lebanese living outside of Lebanon have so many opportunities in the countries they are in, but also globally. And they have access to these opportunities, whether they are investment opportunities or other opportunities. And they always prioritize Lebanon despite the difficulties that the country has been going in. Part of it is patriotism, part of it is identity, part of it is actually a real desire to partake into rebuilding the country. It's very simple to inspire trust. It's not difficult to do it, but you have to have the willingness to want to inspire trust to others. I don't think there is a specific model that we should go for. I think what we need, given the reality of the country today, is we need to turn Lebanon into an investable destination. And the models can come later on, but we need to start with the basics. And the desire, as I said, from the Lebanese diaspora to partake into Lebanon's growth is going to be so strong that it's going to, in my opinion, is going to impose a new reality. And that will have huge economic benefits to the country. What matters is very simple, okay, is to make sure that you are trustworthy in our behavior, to make sure that we have a functioning country and an investable country, which is extremely important. People also need to make sure that they will be able to send money to the country, but also send money back outside of the country. There's no investment. I think Lebanon presents so many opportunities when it functions properly. We've seen that. Lebanon presents strength in some sectors. The service sector is a sector that has so many opportunities. I think we need to bring ourselves again up to standard, because some countries around us, whether it's in the Gulf or globally, are ahead of us. But this is a sector where we can still play and win. Real estate sector is a very important sector in Lebanon and will always be a very important sector in Lebanon. We need to deregulate that sector, and we need to make sure that actually it's seamless to be able to invest there, whether it's development or whether it's simply personal investment. Looking at technology, I continue to believe that Lebanon is, of course, we all know that we are subpar, but what we need to do is to make sure that we have technology infrastructure in the country, tourism sector generally. That I think Lebanon, there has been a concentration of investment in Beirut and its surrounding, but also there's a lot of opportunities outside of Lebanon that on the wellness side, I also think that luxury could actually travel very well in Lebanon to other places. We've seen it, for example, with the kind of the organic growth of guest houses across the country and this kind of new industry that's there. The problem is not attracting investments. The problem is having investment opportunities. Shark Tank is a great example. There is so much money that's wanting to come to Lebanon, and this is primarily diaspora money wanting to come to Lebanon. But we need to actually create an environment that is investable. And the startup ecosystem in Lebanon is very active. What I think we need to do more is actually help our entrepreneurs become more business savvy. They don't lack creativity. They don't lack resilience by miles. Okay, I think they are the most resilient entrepreneurs. But sometimes by being too resilient, you accept realities that you should not accept. And a Lebanese investor, whether a Lebanese investor in Lebanon or a Lebanese investor from the diaspora, people are aware of the importance of standards. And people want to see standards in the business. They want to see whether it's transparency, whether it's governance, whether it is economic viability, whether it is business model, whether it is operational standards and capabilities. These things are important. People at the end of the day are investing their money, they expect a return. And we should decouple investment from financial support. Investment means you're putting money and you're expecting a return. Financial support, you're putting money and you're expecting a smile in return and a thank you. An economy cannot be built on support. It has to be built on investment. We as Lebanese in Lebanon, we have to get our act together. And we have to decide that we're going to do things differently going forward. The diaspora is there. I am confident that the diaspora will always invest in Lebanon. I am confident that engaging the diaspora will always be a good thing. And I think LDE is a great example of how to engage the diaspora in a constructive way. LDE is a great, I would say, platform to do two things. One is to create a Lebanon fund, okay, where diaspora members that may not want or have the capabilities or the desire to do individual investments, or, I mean, they can still do that, of course, or go into investment that are commercial directly or not, or through their current platforms. But I think it would be great if we create in LDE, okay, or if LDE spearheads a Lebanese fund for Lebanon, where diaspora members will have the opportunity to chip in. A lot of projects that the LDE Diaspora Fund or the LDE Lebanese Fund can invest in can be more strategic, and you can have in this type of fund more patient capital that I think Lebanon needs to do certain projects that maybe on a pure commercial basis it may not work. Or it can have two or three buckets. One would be about more strategic projects that need patient capital. The third one I think is very important is to create a startup fund where Lebanese people, whether in Lebanon or abroad, who actually want to invest in Lebanon and to invest in the Lebanese startup ecosystem will have that opportunity.
Thank you, Alain. You set the tone perfectly for our panel discussion today. I'm very honored and pleased to welcome our esteemed panelists on stage, each making a difference in his own industry. Farid Shedid, Chairman and Group CEO, Shedid Capital Group. Aline Kamakian, CEO and co-founder, FIG Holding, GM for IIC SARL. Yahya Asha, President of the Lebanese Franchise Association and CEO of ColorTech. Shakib Shihab, CEO of Malia Invest Iraq. Eli Rizq, President of the Lebanese Gulf Business Development Commission. I'm so happy because you accepted our invitation. The objective of this panel is to discuss the challenges, the constraints, the opportunities as well, and translate experiences into clarity, and most importantly, into an action plan. And this is what we all want for Lebanon, our Lebanon, the Lebanon that we love. So Farid, I'm going to start with you. When we talk about investments in a country like Lebanon, with all what we have been through, what are the challenges and the deal breakers when thinking about Lebanon for investment? We're going straight to the point. We're not gonna,
Sure.
we want to go there directly.
Thank you, Leah, and thank you for LDE for the invitation. Definitely, Lebanon has been through major challenges We all know them, the financial crisis, the Beirut port explosion, and of course the latest security and military issues that we've encountered in the last 2 years. These challenges nevertheless have strengthened us, I believe. They have strengthened us because they have proven to the entire world and to ourselves that we are a resilient people. From our perspective, we as a group operate in many countries, but we consider that the Lebanese people are the most well-educated and resilient people that we encounter and that we have. And therefore, as a group, we use Beirut as a hub. Despite all the crisis, despite all the issues, we've always used Lebanon as an international hub for our operations. So I would say, yes, we have challenges, but we have the Lebanese people who make tremendous strength for us as a country. And when I say Lebanese people, I'm talking about the people in Lebanon, but also definitely the diaspora.
The people, I think, are the greatest asset that we have. Aline, from an F&B perspective, so when we say we always do great in F&B, right? All sectors are going down, but F&B is booming in Lebanon, and we've witnessed this across crisis. So what are your views? Are the challenges from an F&B perspective the same as other sectors?
You have, first of all, thank you. Thank you, LDE, for inviting me. Challenges is you have two styles. You have the business in general, you have the challenge. You have the Lebanese challenges are always different. And you have the F&B. F&B today is, most of it is about people. Okay, it's about people, about infrastructure. You have this that is really, without service, without people, you cannot. So you have the people challenging that today, unfortunately, we had an export of all the service people, all the trained. Second, you have an infrastructure problem. Each restaurant, like each house, it has to have own government, from the water, from the heating, from the electricity, from the location, from the parking. So all of this is extra challenges. Usually, in the other words, you have to create, you have to focus on your ingredients and the focus. Here, you have to be really a government by itself in your own restaurant.
Thank you, Aline. Yahya, from an entrepreneurship perspective, how has cross-border entrepreneurship been affected post-crisis?
Well, there's a big difference with the complete ecosystem before and after crisis. So if you go before crisis, Lebanon was the holdco, the holding company of all the entrepreneurs. The IP, the intellectual property is registered in Lebanon. The banking goes in Lebanon, the financial, the legal. What happened post-crisis is a big change where all the big brands you would hear, the Lebanese brands, have migrated from Lebanon to establish holdcos in these onshore free zone like ADGM, the IFC, Cyprus, and etc. So all the now Lebanon is a back office to cut overheads down, and it's no more the headquarter for our. This is something that we're gonna feel down the road, because the added value is not anymore 100% in Lebanon. This is what's happening with the monetization and with the IPOs. And if you've heard of the recent food and beverage merger and acquisitions, all of these are happening outside of Lebanon, although the brands are Lebanese. This is something we need to fix down the road.
When we talk about investments and Lebanon, Shakib, the question is for you. We know that there are some trust issues. Trust is a barrier today. What is, in your opinion and from your experience, how we can regain the Lebanese diaspora trust to invest back in Lebanon?
Okay. Thank you first, Leah, thank you. I think the investment first is the investor has no issues with risk, but he has issues with uncertainty and volatility. So trust is a key. Trust does not mean that it is a risk-free country. Trust means that the investor knows where he's heading, knows the laws exactly, knows where is his dues and where is his obligation, but what is his, who is protecting him. Data is important as well for trust. When you know the market, when you know the size of the market, when you know the dynamics of the market, when you know that also you're not going to have surprises with the laws, with the regulation, with the legal structure, with all that's happening. Second, trust is also perception. Trust starts out of the country. When the diaspora investors are looking to the country, the first message is vehicled by the embassies. So here I voice again the importance of the commercial attaché and the structure we have in our embassy to vehicle the proper message of what Lebanon has to offer.
Thank you. Eli, considering the relation with the Gulf today, where are we? How would you assess the situation when it comes to investing in Lebanon?
شوفي, there is no doubt in اليوم today, if we ask any GCC country or person, would you invest in Lebanon? I can assure you, the answer is not no. The answer will be maybe, because now Lebanon is not being rejected by the GCC countries. It's being priced. At what price, what cost, what are the risks? We all know that to create investment environment, we need 3 pillars in Lebanon. You need sustainable peace, like His Excellency Minister Basil always emphasized on the importance of having a sustainable peace. You need political stability. You need a transparent and accountable government, because in nowadays investment economic ecosystem needs trust as a currency. The currency of this modern investment ecosystem is trust. So you need a transparent and accountable government, and you need to restructure the banking sector and to have a financial reform. If we ask anybody in the room today, is Lebanon potential for investment? I can assure you everybody will say yes. Now the question is, how can we make it a country that can generate investments credibly and safely?
Thank you, Eli. Farid, since you're very optimistic and really you're considering Lebanon as the hub, where do you see today realistically? Where are the opportunities today in the country?
There are lots of investment opportunities. Definitely it requires political stability. I will mention a few and then I'll focus on one. Definitely on infrastructure and specifically transport infrastructure, logistics hubs, everything related to transportation of specialized materials or not to Syria with the reconstruction of Syria. This is definitely an opportunity for Lebanon to use Beirut port or Tripoli port, but it requires specialization. You certainly have technology, artificial intelligence, analytics. Okay, we have a pool of talent here. We have also an entrepreneurial spirit whereby Lebanese can set up and establish companies and offer services and solutions abroad. The tourism industry, definitely cultural heritage, hospitality, all of that is very much mentioned before. But I think there is a sector, and this is the one I want to focus on, that has tremendous opportunity, and this is the healthcare sector. And the healthcare sector has shown its resilience during all the crises that we've been through, and it is definitely not affected by an economic crisis, because whatever the situation, people still want to have care and need to go to hospital or need to go to a clinic. And for that, we have in Lebanon an aging population. We have an increase in chronic cases that requires definitely treatment. We have the potential for regional inflow of patients to Lebanon from the Gulf and further than the Gulf for treatment. And you have medical tourism, specifically for aesthetics, cosmetics, dental care, orthopedics, fertility, all of these require, they can come to Lebanon and will have potential and they can get the treatment. So specifically, our healthcare sector have shown its resilience, and in the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen a lot of doctors and nurses leaving Lebanon to the region, but I believe there is a potential to bring them back here.
100%. Aline, from your perspective, how do opportunities look? Because we cannot, health sector is ongoing across despite all crisis, and I think FNB also can fall under this.
Lebanon is passed through different wars and has a lot of challenges. A country who has a lot of challenges coming out of war, it's always an opportunity for the investor because there's a lot to do. And investment comes high risk, high return. So this, if we take this out of it, you have, of course, I'm not going to talk a real estate or whatever Mr. Farid had. The restaurant business within, if you see during these 2 years, we had another 180 restaurants opened. Okay, that means there is an opportunity in this. There is always an entrepreneur, a Lebanese entrepreneur, find ways to create and to invest. We have today, after the explosion, a lot of restaurants gone. So today you're still replacing. Before August 20, we had 5,000 restaurants. Today we're not even 50%. So there is a great opportunity for restaurant, but you have to know that if we don't have an income people, tourists, diaspora who's coming, what is existing already, it's too much for the Lebanese people. So it has to go together. It has to have safe, touristic, and yes, there is a big opportunity in this.
Thank you. Yahya, from your experience, can you tell us also how do you see opportunities today from where we stand?
Opportunities in Lebanon, we can take it in a holistic matter. We always have opportunity, even in crisis. You know, people, it's a kind of change of wealth from one party to the other, and so Lebanon has always opportunities. But if we look at the franchise sector, we see very dynamic markets being created around us. The Gulf growing at exponentially north of 10% yearly CAGR. You look at the US, Asia Pacific, growth is there, and we have the concepts, and Lebanon is being a very good incubator for concept and new concepts to go and plug in this system. It's true that Lebanon, in terms of governance, we're a bit far from where we need to be, but then things will happen slowly but surely. Let's see.
Thank you. Shakib, since we're talking about also talents and Lebanese talents,
yeah.
So how do you see today the Lebanese talents in Lebanon and across the diaspora from your expertise?
I think the Lebanese talents are the best we have as national wealth. Of course, we are exporting our talents, but that's not so bad. I mean, I'm not the type of person that would retain people here, because those are traveling abroad, gaining experience. But the most important thing is that when they gain experience is to let them contribute in a way or another to the development of the country. So talents in Lebanon are, I think they're amazing with their resilience, with their flexibility, and this is the best wealth we have, especially in the private sector.
Definitely, and we're so proud of the talents across all industries, across all countries. Eli, from your perspective, if you want to give 2 actions for LDE today, for the next 12 months, what would you say?
Well, we have the Lebanese diaspora, especially in the Gulf. They are a blessing, not a curse, because their role in the Gulf, they understand the mindset of investment for the GCC people. And we all know that the Gulf investors, they admired Lebanon. They admired the Lebanese people culture, creativity, entrepreneurial skills. And we do have lots of partnership in various sectors. We can start by creating small joint ventures on specific projects with return on investment. Especially now with the PPP, the public-private partenariat, it offers a lot of potential to generate investment from both the private sector and the government sector. And we have countries like Qatar, countries like UAE, who is approaching us already and bidding on projects like Northern Airport of Rene Mawad. UAE is interested in the port of Tripoli and the economical city of Tripoli. And we have governmental entities like the telecom, like the transportation, so many opportunities in the government sector. As the private sector, we can focus on agro-food, agri-tech, because all the Gulf countries need to create a safety net for food, assurance of food, and Lebanon can play a very good role, especially with the new technology of agriculture, using hydroponic, latest technology, and focusing on niche product, high-end agro product. We don't want to invest in old-fashioned way of agriculture where our young and youth are not interested anymore. In all our urban countries, like now Batroun became a hub for wine. It's competing with Bordeaux, mashallah. And there is a chemin de vin, which is a very good experience because we were successful in our wine and our apple, in strawberries and blackberries. So we can, with our Lebanese diaspora, create joint ventures into this product, because what we can do today is export services and trade and import tomorrow investments.
Thank you. Farid, today, if you want to give one action that we need to start applying at LDE, what would it be?
Eli mentioned the diaspora in the Gulf. I would mention the diaspora in Africa. Definitely the diaspora in Africa is, I believe, neglected. Neglected because they don't have flight connection with Lebanon, not frequent, not all the countries. Whenever they want to come to Lebanon, they go through Istanbul or they go through Paris. And I believe this is wrong. There are lots of investment opportunities both ways, and I will take the one I've mentioned, which is healthcare. There is a tremendous need in Africa for healthcare services, in particular for the Lebanese diaspora that is living there. We have almost 100,000 Lebanese living in Côte d'Ivoire, and you look at so many other countries you have there, you have a tremendous number of Lebanese. The other sector that can have cross-border investments and where both Africa and Lebanon can benefit is education. We already have USG that has set up and established in Abidjan in Ivory Coast, but I think other universities can do that. We can receive people from Africa here to further their education. So definitely connectivity with airlines, definitely Middle East airlines. Second, education, and therefore make it easier for Africans to come over here for education or for business, to be able to get visas and be welcomed over here.
Definitely. Aline, one action plan for today. We don't want to think long term. Today.
I think LDE is the best to be the connection between Lebanon and the diaspora, is the bridge. Coming from outside, a fund or something to invest in Lebanon and to have a return, and to take despite everything, you have a lot of SMEs, a lot of entrepreneurs that can be grown outside, can be need opportunity, and this LDE can easily do it. It's there. I think it will be there best from my point of view.
Thank you. Yahya.
I would say the most important point is connecting capital to operating companies in Lebanon and to entrepreneurs in Lebanon. So LDE can do that in so many ways. With the lack of the banking sector financing, people need financing in Lebanon. And we need just somebody to connect both capital with operating companies. I can add an idea is to create this. Everybody talks about this diaspora fund. We have around 25 million, you would know more, 28 million Lebanese descendants outside of Lebanon. If we take, and I was on a panel and proposed the idea, and I'm proposing it again. If we take 5% of these committed Lebanese and they commit $10,000 to invest in transparent, because this is where the trick lies, transparent opportunities in Lebanon, well organized in pitch decks. If you put 10,000 allocation, this is a fund that is worth, for 5%, around $10 to $15 billion. We don't need anybody to help us. We just need the proper mechanism and transparency.
Thank you. We have a lot of action plans to implement. Shakib.
The fund also was my favorite, but it was picked by the others. So I think that the best thing to do is to channel as well this as a fund by sector. And of course, transparency, governance, legal. The second point, if I need to add, is a real investment law that is giving incentive to the foreign investor. We cannot invite Lebanese or foreign investor, because we need both actually, to come to invest in this country if they're not protected. They need to have a full protection by a super investment law. That's a key. Second, definitely the trust, the fund is key. The fund is key because, you know, diaspora is, until today, is like the ATM machine. They are giving donations, donation to their family, donation to their villages, donation to left and right, to the religious community, etc. But instead of giving this donation, instead of giving the fish, let us help the locals to know how to give them the net so they start fishing. So I think instead of donation, we should start attracting investment that is more sustainable, that is better for the future, and that is also elevating the business community because it's giving knowledge, know-how to the locals.
Thank you. Eli, if you want to send today a message to the Lebanese diaspora who want to engage but don't know where to start, what would you say?
شوفي LDE is the best platform اليوم to connect the diaspora with the Lebanese people المقيمين يعني. وأنا I think the next edition of LDE بما أنه حتنعمل بالصيف I strongly recommend إنه we host a panel of matchmaking investments لأنه بيقلي مثل ما قال خينا شكيب في كتير مشاريع في عندها ROI ومعمل لها دراسات و feasibility study where the Lebanese diaspora can invest وبيكون الشانل هو هذا القطاع الخاص. مع انه LDE نجحت ترجع النوستالجية والحمص والتبولة للبنانيو الانتشار وساهموا ببناء قرية المغتربين بالبترون، اليوم لازم نرجع الانفستمنت مش الايموشن، الROI ريتيرن اون انفستمنت. بقى نحن حاضرين بخبرتنا بالخليج وبالمعارض المؤتمرات نتعاون مع المنظمين LDE لانه هذا كتير مهم كجسر كبريدج لا نحول وجود الدياسبورا من نقمة برا إلى نعمة لنا في لبنان والمشاركة بالاستثمارات اللبنانية. وهون بدي أشكر أنا الوزير باسيل من 2014 لما كان بوزارة الخارجية مش بوجهه وأنا ماني تيار ولا مرشح معه يعني على الانتخابات، بس أول واحد فتح لنا مجال إنه نحن لبنانيو الانتجار ونحن بجدة وكان معنا خينا محمد ومجالس الأعمال بالخليج وعيلنا ملحق اقتصادي بجدة وقالنا مولوه أنا بمشي فيه وبناء على هي صار عندنا ملحقين اقتصاديين اللي خدمونا أكثر من السفراء ونحن بنتأسف إنه الغيون ومنطالب إنه يرجعوا الملحقين الاقتصاديين ونحن بنشكره إنه هو كان أول مبادر إنه خلق لنا يوم لأنه كتير خدمونا مع الانتشار وكانوا كتير إفادة أكثر وأقل رواتب وأقل انفاقيات يعني ما بعرف ليش حطوا عليهم إنه عم بيكلفوا الخزينة.
Thank you, Eli. Farid, a final message to Lebanese who are here today, who maybe started businesses. They had to shut down businesses. They had to close to their low on morale, if you want. What would you tell them?
I would tell them not to be afraid. They can create a global business out of Lebanon. We have the resources. We have all the possibilities. We have the talent. So they need to persevere. You know, when we are faced with challenges, the most important is to learn from these challenges and is to use these challenges as a springboard to do better and to fix whatever weaknesses we have. So the first comment or the first thing I would say, and the only thing I would say, don't be afraid. Just go for it and you'll be successful.
Keep moving. Aline, you're positive, full of energy, very optimistic, always spreading positive vibes. What would you say?
Still positive. So I see Lebanon, because we have a lot of challenges, there's a lot of opportunities. Okay, today entrepreneur can solve our challenges, and this is a great opportunity that can be exported. Plus, there is a lot of money now. Okay, any entrepreneur who has a good pitch, there is a lot of money because people don't know where to invest, or there is a lot of opportunity of money. So I don't think they have the challenge of this. They just have to pitch well and create the solution, and the rest is easy. So I always tell, jump out of the plane, put a parachute, enjoy the ride. So definitely there is a lot of challenges. Don't be afraid, as Farid said, just jump.
Thank you. Yahya, a message to Lebanese and a message to the Lebanese diaspora.
Okay, to Lebanese entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Okay, so Lebanese entrepreneurs is to think long term, not short term, because opportunities. I'm speaking now as the president of the Lebanese Franchise Association. So I've seen a lot of brands being using Lebanon as a pilot to launch the brand, and then they do a nice brand, and then they they sell it outside, and then with time the brand actually disappears, and then a copycat or a Me Too is created elsewhere. So number one is to organize properly and to think long term and to strategize about your business and to think where you're taking the business in 5 years and 10 years and to work towards that. This is very important. So you have to prepare legally, financially, protect your IP. I've seen a lot of brands just Yaline would tell you stories about that in the franchise industry. So you need really to protect yourself, put the end game, and then move on to get there. So this would be my best advice. Think long term, strategize, end game, and yes, there's something also that we don't see in our culture in Lebanon. Also, you have to think of the end game in terms of monetization. Are we going to IPO the business? Are we taking it to Abu Dhabi to IPO there, or to Saudi Arabia, or are we just selling the business after 15 years? So this needs to be part of the discussion from the beginning, so that all points align together while we advance. And this is also an important point.
Thank you. Shakib, a message from you.
No, I think this is the best time to invest in Lebanon. Let's have a look on the Lebanese scene. We're back. Our economy is growing again. The inflation is contained. Real estate is still under valued. And Syria is opening again, which is our neighbor and our normal market. We're talking about the Levant. So I think that if we don't invest today, when will you? Especially that today banks are not present. So Lebanese sector needs fresh finance coming from abroad. We see that Lebanese private sector is also changing and evolving towards the governance. So we see a lot of groups, Lebanese groups, that are moving from a family business managed to a fully governance, despite family owned, but they are now working in full transparency and full governance. I think this is the best time to invest now today in Lebanon, in all sectors. Agriculture is important, and I fully endorse what Ali was saying, especially when we're talking about the agriculture in the regions, and this is also helping a lot the locals to stay where they are, not to move all to the cities. So yeah, definitely this is the best time.
Thank you. This is the best thing I believe we've heard. It's the best time to invest in Lebanon, and we invite everyone who is a bit like worried or resistant to take the step now. Elir, is a final message from you.
شوفي, we have a golden opportunity اليوم. نحن كنا نصدر لبنانيو الانتشار, يروح هو وعقله وجسمه وجسده ويساهم برا. We have a golden opportunity اليوم انه يرجع هاللبناني المنتشر يستثمر في لبنان, invest in Lebanon, واعماله تنتشر. عندنا كثير شركات لبنانيه مثل ماليا جروب, مثل باتشي, مثل العديد من الشركات هم مقيمين في لبنان, و they are investing in Lebanon, اعمالهم تنتشر ومش اللي ينتشروا. وهذا دور ال LDE.
Inspiring discussion indeed, and we'd love also to hear from the audience if you have any questions, any thoughts, any suggestion to our panelists. We'd love to hear from you. So just raise your hand. We have the gentleman. We need a mic, please, for just 1 second.
It's a muffin mic, we can hear them.
We can hear you if you want to give it a try.
It's okay.
The mic is here.
هلو اوكي. اول شيء اول مره بشارك, ثانك يو لانك اسستها. بقولوا البحصه بتسند خابيه, بس كيف اذا صخره سندت صخور. عن جد ثانك يو. انا امين صفير. I'm an architect with 35 years of experience, and I'm taking an executive MBA recently from the AUB. I'm curious why nobody mentioned real estate. Because real estate is the strongest sector where we can invest in Lebanon, especially with the scarcity of land. And I am promoting, also through AUB, a platform titled that we are selling trust and certainty for diaspora, Lebanese diaspora investors. This is my message. You need to add real estate to the investment sectors in Lebanon. And we are trying to solve the banking sector crisis through giving financial facilities. We can trust each other also. Not only we can trust the banks. Thank you.
Thank you. Shakib, you were talking to me about real estate. Would you like to add anything on that front?
Yes, the gentleman would not like what I'm going to say. I'm not a big fan of real estate, if it's only real estate. I'm a super fan of real estate when it is creating jobs, when it is producing something. Real estates like hospitals, hotels, restaurants, agriculture is also real estate, industry, anything that is creating value, creating jobs is more than welcome. Real estate for real estate, of course, this is important, but again, it would only protect your fund from the inflation, because the real estate value is here, and today with the very low interest we have in the banks and with the inflation, this is the only way where you can secure your money. But real estate should not be the only place where you will block your money. I love to put the money where production and added value is created.
Thank you. Would you like to? We have another question. Please, we need the mic.
يعطيكم العافية. يعطيكم العافية. دكتور جورجيت الحداد، المستشارة دكتورة جورجيت الحداد، رئيسة مؤسسة تأهيل. بالأول بدي عن جد أشكرك وزير جبران باسيل، وشهادتي مجروحة.
I think we're not able to listen properly to the question.
بدي أشكر الوزير جبران باسيل، مش من اليوم أبا عن جد هو عم بيشتغل للبنان. عم بيشتغل مش لمصالحه، عم بيشتغل للبنان ككل، اغترابا، انتشارا ومقيما. بس أنا بدي أقول كيف يا حضرة اللي عم تحكوا، كيف بدنا نرجع الثقة للبنانية يعملوا انفست بلبنان بعد ما أخذوا مصريات المودعين، وبصفتي أنا كمان مستشارة بشؤون المودعين، كيف بدنا نرجع لهم هالثقة إنه يرجعوا يعملوا ويستثمروا هون. بس اللي بدي أقوله كيف عندهم الجرأة ياخدوا أموالنا ويتهموا غيرهم. السرقة مبلشة من قبل جنرال ميشيل عون كان رئيس، قبل وهلا شرعوها للسرقة. كيف إلكم قلب تاخذوا مصريات مودعين؟ شغلة تاني بس بدي أعلق على هيدا، سألوني برا عن المؤتمر إذا كان مهم أو لا. بدي له لوزير السياحة بالعكس، أول واحد لازم يكون على بجرأة تحكي وتشجع هيدا المؤتمر يلي عم يجمع الانتشار بالاغتراب، هو صلة وصل وعم بيخلينا نشوف اللبنانية. لك اشكروهم اللي عم يحطوا حطوا مصرياتهم بلبنان وأكلتوا لهم إياهم. شكرا وزير جبران باسيل.
شكرا لسؤالك. شكرا. بتحب تجاوب على التراست اللي حكينا اوريدي عنه؟
اكيد في مشكله مع القطاع المصرفي يعني والقانون او القرار اللي اتخذته الحكومه، بس وهلا رايح هيدا على مجلس النواب. بس نحن ما فينا كمان نوقف حياتنا ونوقف مستقبلنا وما نفكر شو بدنا نعمل ناطرين حل للقطاع المصرفي والمشاكل اللي عنده اياها المودعين. بفتكر كلنا خسرانين وكلنا متاثرين وكلنا تاثرنا من سرقه الودايع. اوكي، بس بنفس الوقت نحن بحاجه نطلع لقدام. اوكي، وبحاجه نستثمر بالبلد ونحافظ على شبابنا ويبقوا بلبنان مش يهاجروا. بقى يعني اذا فكرنا بالاستثمارات مش يعني هملنا او نسينا او لازم ننسى وضع المودعين. وحده ما بتلغي الثاني.
يحيى.
to answer مسيو صفير ما هيك. اول شيء في في emotions. Let's put emotions on the side and take things بطريقه ما بدنا emotional investment. هيدي بتوصل دائما لمشاكل. اذا نحن بنطلع على كل بروجكت بندرسه مزبوط. عشان هيك حكيت عن transparency. اول شيء transparent projects الى pitch decks فيها الفاينانشال projections، فيها كل شيء ممكن واحد يتوقعه، وبعدين and eventually you invest based على scalability, based على team, based على business model. This is how you protect investors from شو اسمه real estate. Although real estate أنقذ الاقتصاد اللبناني so many times. و I think real estate واللي بيشتغلوا بالreal estate especially هلا بالopportunities in Syria, I think you have a lot of work to do in the near future.
So we'll end it with two questions. We have the gentleman and
hello, my name is Dr. Jihan Khouri. I'm doctor in finance. And my question is for Mr. Yahya as president of LFA. What are the incentives taken recently to help actually the small and medium enterprises to go outside and to internationalize? Were there any new incentives, any new schemes put in place to help these SMEs to just go outside and go search for new markets? Thank you.
So what we do. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So what we do at LFA is just play the catalyst to. What we do at LFA is just play the catalyst and provide the learning curve, the accelerated learning curve for what we call what we name them as the associate members to become franchisor, full-fledged franchisor. So it's just accelerating the learning curve so they don't fall in this trap of others or the problems that others fell into before. So learning curve, capacity building, seminars, and we issue, and you will have the new version in 1 month, the complete structure of all the franchises available in Lebanon, whether franchisor or franchisees, every other year, so once every 2 years.
Okay. الحقيقة أنا نعقب على اللي قاله خينا يحيى. الفرانشايز فورما هو أهم فورما يخلي الانتربرونور اللبناني يصدر أعماله لبرا هو وبلبنان. تجربتنا مثلا مع خينا يحيى بالحرب ما هاجر، ورث عن بيه مؤسسة صغيرة كبرها، صار اليوم كولورتك بالبراندنج اللي عمله موجود بكل دول العالم، من السعودية للخليج لسوريا إلخ إلخ. الفرنشايز اللبناني أكثر شيء مطلوب بالسعودية وبالخليج. حتى تعاوننا مع الفرنشايز اسوسيشن، دربنا العمانيين وغرف التجارة بالخليج هاو تو دو فرانشايز. تعاوننا نحن وخينا يحيى مع LFA ندرب الخليجية على الفرانشايز وكلهم they are imitating. So this is a very good للستارت اب وللSMEs انه يبلشوا بكرييتيف ايدياز وياخذوها فرانشايز، واكيد LFA هي احسن بلاتفورم انه ياخذوها على الخليج، والخليج is the best market for it.
Farid, you wanted to add something on that front?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that us as a group, we test all our ideas in Lebanon. For us, Lebanon is, we do our pilot projects here. We test the ideas, whether they are for retail customers or business to business. We test them in Lebanon because it's cheaper to operate out of Lebanon. Okay, so it is, the cost of a mistake is lower if we make it here than if we make it anywhere else. Second, the Lebanese customer is very sophisticated. So when you have a satisfied Lebanese customer, you are sure that you can have any other nationality as a customer to be satisfied. And for us, this is the best testing ground.
Thank you. We have one last question.
Good afternoon.
Sorry, because we are squeezed on time.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rami Majzoub. Being involved in the knowledge economy ecosystem for the last 25 years, actually my question is maybe a convergence between this panel and the former panel related to the knowledge economy. We've heard a lot of interesting things, and maybe the person who can answer it's not one of the panelists now, but someone in the audience, because I followed with particular interest the video of Dr. Pierre Khoury. My question today is that there are billions being invested in the knowledge economy in the GCC, in the Gulf, especially when it comes to the AI. So how can we, as Lebanese, whether the private or governmental sector, attract a chunk of this AI, of this billions? So part of it, we have to be legally fit. We have to have all the infrastructure. My understanding from Dr. Khoury is that we are already getting there, but are we ready? One. And two, where are the sectors in the knowledge economy, especially in AI, where we can seek funds the most investments from the GCC countries, where we can have a specific market niche?
Thank you for
I don't know whether it's Pierre or someone else who should answer.
Any thoughts from?
I can mention one sector where
I think you need to bring a bit the mic.
I can mention one sector where we have a definitely competitive advantage. This is healthcare. Why? Because we have data. Okay, in the Gulf they definitely have cheap electricity, and they can build data centers, but they need data, and the data we have it here. We have hospitals that have been operating for over 50, 60, over 100 years. So we have data. Okay, this is not available everywhere else. So although they have the cheap electricity, we have the data here. So the combination and using data from here and the cheap electricity from there is definitely a winning combination. So there are other sectors that we can look at and work on, but definitely we have so much resources here that we need to utilize.
Yahya, you wanted to add something?
Already, I think the Lebanese play already a major role in the startups vertical or whatever, in the digital, or whether digital or AI or quantum computing, and they're getting a lot of funding from GCC, but the holdco is not in Lebanon. The holdco is either in Cyprus or in ADGM or the IFC, and you would be amazed to know how many Lebanese thrive in this atmosphere.
Thank you. Thank you for this productive talk. I think despite all the challenges, the crisis, and all what we have been through, the Lebanese talent is the winner and above everything. So this is the image of Lebanon we would like to portray to the world. We're very honored to have you. Let's take a group photo, and the LDE team would like to give you a small gesture. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.